have been secretly married to a popular star for 7 years, and the doctor said it would be very difficult for me to get pregnant. My mom suggested having my sister take my place and have a child with my husband. She said, "You two are identical twins. What's the difference between her giving birth and you giving birth? With so many beautiful actresses around your husband, how can you keep his heart if you still don't have children?" I found that suggestion ridiculous and firmly stated that he would never agree to such a thing, until I was locked in the guest room, listening to the noises from next door all night long. As dawn approached, the room gradually fell silent. The door was pushed open, and Emily was only wearing a loose men's shirt, the hem barely covering her thighs, with obvious marks on her exposed skin. I couldn't bear to watch and closed my eyes. My sister's voice was hoarse as she helped untie me, laughing softly. "Did you hear everything?" Your brother-in-law was so angry that his hands were shaking. He raised his hand and slapped her. At that moment, Nathan called out to her from outside, "Emily?" The door wasn't closed tightly, and he gently pushed it open and came in. "Brother-in-law, please don't blame my sister. Although she seems that way, she must be feeling bad inside." Sophia's tears fell. Nathan gently lifted her face, wiped away her tears, and turned to glare at me coldly. "Sophia, since you and your mom decided to find someone else to be a surrogate, both Emily and I agreed, so why are you still angry at Emily?" I was momentarily stunned. This was simply a distortion of the facts. I have emphasized to you countless times that I really don't care about having children. I even plan to publicly announce it on our wedding anniversary next month, just to put your mind at ease. He looked very disappointed in me. I was momentarily at a loss for words. We met in college and got together, marrying right after graduation. He said the marriage certificate was his guarantee and promise to me. All these years, he has publicly claimed to be single, needing to pair up with others for work, and we have hardly gone out on dates alone. I understand all of that. But to say that I don't long to be publicly with him would be impossible. Now this matter has become a reality. The man who cried sadly when we got our marriage certificate no longer exists in my heart. No one forced him to do this. No one is forcing him to hold Emily's waist as they leave now. This morning my mom came over, looking very happy, but she was holding her waist and pretending to be in pain, insisting that I go home to take care of her. Emily stayed behind to take care of my brother-in-law. I quietly followed my mom and stayed in the room for half a month. Nathan is going to the film set and took Emily along. After a month, good news finally came. It really is twins. Nathan and Emily returned together, acting like a newly married couple. I watched them in a bit of a daze. His gaze used to always linger on me. My mom specially prepared a feast of Emily's favorite dishes and even made a cake to celebrate. When we raised our glasses, Emily noticed I wasn't smiling or moving and quietly asked, "Sister, you're not mad at me, are you?" I smiled and spoke before anyone else, saying that pregnancy is a happy occasion. Congratulations to you both. In the evening, my mom asked me to go home with Nathan. This means my house arrest has finally come to an end. As soon as I got in the car, Nathan grabbed my hand, and I felt very uncomfortable, completely uneasy. "Sophia, I'm sorry for not being there for you during this time. Now that Emily is pregnant, we've agreed to keep our distance from now on. After all, you are my legal wife." After the baby is born, she said she plans to study abroad, so it won't make you uncomfortable. "Nathan, my mom is knocking on the window." "Nathan, Emily just threw up, and I feel like she has a fever." How could she suddenly have a fever? Nathan suddenly got anxious, opened the car door, and then abruptly stopped. He remembered that I was there and had just said to keep a distance. He told his wife, "Wait for me here. I'll go see what's going on." Emily is newly pregnant, and her body isn't stable yet. Getting sick at this time is a serious matter. My mom has been reminding me that all the suffering Emily is going through is because of you. She said you are the most considerate and always think of others, and you wouldn't mind these things with your sister, right? I sneered inwardly. Do you really care about what I think? Now pretending to respect me. If I don't agree, I would end up being the cold-hearted one. Then you all go ahead. I forced a casual smile and said, "When have I ever stopped you? Don't drag it out. Emily being home alone could lead to trouble." Nathan smiled happily and gently patted my arm, thanking me, his wife. The next day, news of Nathan appearing at the hospital late at night with a strange woman trended online. The video footage was a bit blurry, only showing their silhouettes. Nathan wrapped his arms around Emily's waist, then squatted down to help her tie her shoelaces. Emily stroked his hair, and he stood up holding her hand. If you didn't know them, this scene would look quite sweet. I've been with Nathan for so long, and we've never been secretly photographed. Even if it happened, his team would handle it quickly. Later, we reached an understanding with the paparazzi. As long as they are paid, the photos won't be made public. But this time, it was clear he had tacitly agreed to it. Before noon, Nathan called me. He mentioned the trending topic and sounded a bit uneasy. He said that after having a child, he couldn't keep it a secret forever and that he could reveal a bit of news now so that it wouldn't be too surprising when officially announced later. I asked him who he was planning to announce it to. Emily's fever has gone down, and he was going back to the set tonight. I told him to go home first, saying I had something to discuss. As soon as he walked in, he pushed me down onto the sofa, kissing me while slipping his hand under my clothes. Honey, I only have 2 hours left. I pushed him away with all my strength and shouted, Nathan, wait a minute, I really miss you right now. I need him, and he cried out in pain, quickly dodging away from me. He gasped and said, you could hurt someone like this. I got up and straightened my clothes. He leaned in again, speaking in a tone of grievance and coquetry, saying, honey, don't you miss me? His almost flawless face looked disgusting and hypocritical in my eyes at that moment. I shifted to the side, creating some distance between us, feeling annoyed. Sophia, don't do this. This was caused by you. I'm the one who got hurt. No, Emily is worse off. You are cold to her and still find me annoying. We've all been accommodating to you. What more do you want? Nathan is very angry. I took out the divorce agreement and demanded a divorce. He stared at me wide-eyed, incredulously asking, what did you say? This was my mom and Emily's idea. I never agreed to it. You can believe it or not. The sky outside suddenly darkened, and large clouds surged in from the west, with distant rumblings of thunder heard. Nathan's expression changed as well. Don't mention divorce. I won't agree to it. He finished speaking and hurried away. Emily isn't rushing to catch a flight. She's afraid of thunder. She got lost for several years when she was a child. Although she was found later, it had a significant psychological impact on her. It took a long time for her to improve, but she still gets extremely scared when she hears thunder. Mom feels guilty towards her, especially favors her, and always asks me to be more accommodating to her. I think that's only right. She has suffered so much, I feel bad too. Love cannot be forced, but a man can. If she wants to take it, let her have it. Late at night, Nathan posted a vague message on Weibo, saying he hopes there are no thunderstorm days in this world. Fans jokingly asked him why he suddenly became so sentimental. Everyone guessed it must be related to his girlfriend. He has posted over 1,000 messages on Weibo, almost all about work, occasionally sharing life, but he has never mentioned me. He won't let me post photos online, saying that today's fans are really sharp and can spot any detail. When Nathan returned to the set, he brought Emily with him. My mom also went along to help take care of Emily. He told me that Emily was in a bad mood and didn't want to stay at home. I had my assistant rent a room near the set. If you have time, you can come help my mom take care of Emily. I won't disturb you all. I have already sent the divorce agreement to my mom. Think it over. We didn't force you to get a divorce. Although Emily likes Nathan, she never intended to break you two up. She is eager to shift the responsibility away. Yes, it's something I have to do, and I did it voluntarily. It has nothing to do with you. A week later, my mom sent me the signed agreement from Nathan. The new house is all set up. I ran into Ethan, who is Nathan's competitor. We are both classmates from the film academy, and Ethan is a year ahead of me. They had some conflicts back in college. Ethan has established a straightforward persona in the industry, always saying he can't stand Nathan. Since you also find Nathan annoying, we are on the same side. He said it half jokingly, half seriously, let's have a pleasant cooperation. Emily was showing off to me that Nathan helped her wash her feet and even applied stretch mark oil for her. Is my sister going to be angry? I don't want to deal with her. Nathan called to ask me why I wasn't replying to Emily's messages. Emily tends to overthink, and after getting pregnant, she worries even more, afraid that you'll blame her. She's been gloomy, can't eat or sleep properly. Last night she cried under the blanket by herself and threw up several times in the middle of the night. His words were filled with concern. But what does that have to do with me? Sophia, I can hardly recognize you. Why have you become so indifferent? She is your biological sister. Isn't it said that twins have a psychic connection? I really hope that the suffering she has endured, you can experience it twice over. He angrily hung up the phone, but called back not long after. You must come over tomorrow and personally apologize to Emily. I remained silent, feeling like I was understanding him less and less. My Sophia never makes mistakes. If there's really a mistake, I'll protect you. We'll always be in this together. The words are still ringing in my ears, but the person has already changed. A month later, the crew changed filming locations, and Nathan returned to Beijing with that mother and daughter. This time, someone caught them going in and out of the maternity hospital together. Nathan still ignored the rumors and let everyone talk. Emily is quite pleased with herself. We look alike. You can think of the person in the photo as yourself. It will make you feel better. I arranged to meet Nathan at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Sophia, I've told you, I will not divorce you. Not in this lifetime. He pulled me into the car. Oh, haven't you already signed the divorce agreement? Why pretend to be reluctant now? Anyone can make up nonsense and just say it. Who can't do that? Nathan looked confused and surprised. I didn't. He froze for a few seconds after seeing it. It was you who made Mom right. I colluded with my mom. From the beginning, it wasn't about having Emily have a baby for me, but rather my plan to climb higher and divorce you. It's just right. Emily has liked you for so long. That's a good thing. He shook his head and said, absolutely not. He completely doesn't believe this. Honey, if you're concerned, I promise I won't say a word to Emily anymore. If you don't want the child, let Emily have an abortion and send her abroad immediately. I laughed and asked, can you really bear it? I shook my phone and said, what if I send the recording to her? He suddenly flew into a rage, grabbing my wrist as if he wanted to crush it. He snatched the phone away, entered the wrong password several times in anger, and threw it out the window. Haven't you already harmed Emily enough? Are you not satisfied until you push her to the brink? You think it's funny, but how have I harmed her or forced her? Didn't you say all of this yourself? Were those not your true feelings? Were you lying to me? He clenched his fists in anger and slammed them on the steering wheel. At that moment, the phone rang. It was a call from Emily. She asked, brother-in-law, where are you now? Please don't divorce my sister. It's all my fault. If my sister doesn't want this child, I'll go get an abortion right away. I don't want to see you two separate. She cried very sadly. Nathan gently comforted her. It's not your fault. Neither you nor the child did anything wrong. Don't cry. I'll be back soon. After hanging up the phone, he coldly asked me, can't you accept her and the child? I didn't say anything. He opened the car door and said, let's go. After leaving the Civil Affairs Bureau, he received a call from his agent. Sophia, did you give my script to Ethan? Do you think he's better than you? How is it yours? I wrote it word by word. What does it have to do with you? During that time, he and Emily were busy trying to have a child, while I kept writing, each word and punctuation filled with dissatisfaction. Of course it has to do with me. He was both angry and sad. This script was written based on me. It belongs to both of us. You can't give it to anyone, especially not Ethan. The story's concept was created by the two of us. It's a mystery genre. At that time, we were especially excited. He told me to focus on writing the script, and he would fund it, making me the lead creator. We imagined winning awards together. He would win Best Actor, and I would win Best Screenwriter. Let's stand on the highest stage together. Just chatting casually, legally. I completely own the copyright to this work. I signed a formal contract with Ethan. He is responsible for investing and playing the male lead, while also directing. Are you deliberately targeting me? Of course, I just want to vent my frustrations. And Ethan's acting skills and abilities are no worse than Nathan's, especially after I saw through Nathan. If you're willing, I can help you secure a role. I laughed, feeling quite pleased seeing his face turn pale. In the car, Ethan called, asking triumphantly if the timing of his news reveal was just right. I really want to see someone getting furious out of embarrassment. It must be quite interesting. He invited me to dinner, saying it was to celebrate my breakup and newfound singleness. But Ethan, we're not at that stage in our relationship yet, are we? He chuckled awkwardly and said, okay, let's talk about it later when we get to know each other better. 2 days later, Nathan's studio and the crew both posted on Weibo, stating that Nathan had been in a car accident and was currently receiving treatment in the hospital. The crew decided to shoot other parts first and continue with Nathan's scenes after he recovers. The fans are all very worried. Ethan went to the hospital to see him with a cheeky smile and even took photos to send to me. In the photos, one of his arms and one of his legs were in casts, and he had bandages on his head. Are you okay? I ignored him. A week later, Emily suddenly came to find me and asked how to make tofu fish soup. Nathan had no appetite and only wanted to drink the fish soup I made. He always said Emily's didn't suit his taste and that it tasted wrong. I found it amusing, so I searched for a recipe online and sent it to her. As a result, my mom called immediately, insisting that I come back right now. Do I really have to beg you for such a small thing? I said. Beg me? Let's see if I'm willing to tell you. Sophia! Emily came over to comfort my mom, took the phone, and gently begged me. She said Nathan was really pitiful, and her voice started to choke up. I laughed out loud and told her I followed the tutorial exactly, without adding anything extra. They asked me if I could make it for Nathan one more time. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Does he even deserve it? Do you even deserve it? If you're not afraid of me adding a little something to his soup, like saliva, then I'm more than happy to help. She's finally angry. You annoying person. You're just jealous that Nathan likes me. Someone like you doesn't deserve him at all. Nathan said I'm fairer than you and in better shape. He's long lost interest in you. Nathan, and then he hung up the phone. I let out a long sigh, sat down, and continued to revise the script. I arrived in Los Angeles the day before yesterday and stayed at a guest house. Changing to a new environment has improved my mood as well. But I never expected that from summer to almost the end of autumn, I haven't moved at all. There's a stray cat that looks just like the one I had when I was young. I can't just take it away. I can only let it stay where it is. But now I have to go back. The first script discussion meeting was held at Ethan's villa. He directly stated that it's not appropriate to invite unfamiliar women to his home alone, but it's fine with a group. The discussion lasted over 5 hours, and by the end, it was dark outside. My throat was dry from talking, and my brain felt swollen from overuse. The producer invited everyone to dinner, but I declined and wanted to go home to rest. Ethan immediately said he wouldn't go either and wanted to take me home. When we arrived at my house, I noticed a suspicious-looking man at the door. "What are you doing?" Ethan shouted sharply. The man was startled, turned around, and it turned out to be Nathan. You guys, his face turned pale, suddenly rushed over and pinned Ethan against the wall, gritting his teeth and saying, "I'll say it again, don't get close to her." Ethan just laughed. "But I didn't agree to you, unless you think you can control me?" Nathan raised his fist, and Ethan simply closed his eyes, acting indifferent. But Nathan stopped and told him to step away. "What right do you have to tell me to leave? I'm Sophia's guest." Ethan smiled, deliberately provoking, which really made one want to teach him a lesson. I pushed the door open, let Ethan in, and told him not to pay attention to those irrelevant people. Nathan pressed his hand against the door and anxiously said, "Sophia, I never said those things. I don't like her. I'm only nice to her because of you. But I really didn't expect her to be completely different from how she appears." He suddenly turned to me and spoke. I was stunned for a moment and realized that he hadn't mentioned this at all. "You don't need to explain it to me. He and they are no longer related to me." When Nathan found out about this, Ethan told me to move somewhere else, saying he could help me. "Be my neighbor?" He was taken aback for a moment, then quickly smiled and replied, "If you want, of course you can." At that moment, the doorbell rang. The delivery had arrived, the one I ordered on the way. I was just about to see the guest out. Actually, I didn't want to. "Ethan, you need to focus on making movies. You promised that you'd help me win an award later." He smiled and said he would. The next morning, Nathan brought breakfast and told me he would be living upstairs after he was discharged. But I've been away from home lately. A couple of days ago, he saw that a cleaner was coming to my place and guessed I would be back soon. You have no idea how happy I am. His eyes turned red all of a sudden. If this were a movie, I would definitely think he was acting so well that it made me want to cry. We've never been apart for so long, and now I realize just how much I can miss someone. Seeing you makes me miss you even more. Sophia, I really regret it now. I wish I could go back and wake myself up. I shouldn't have impulsively divorced you. After saying that, I bitterly smiled and shook my head. I thought he would say he regretted having a relationship with Emily and having a child. If you don't divorce, I'll sue you in court. The outcome won't be any different. Please leave immediately and don't come looking for me again. Nathan definitely doesn't want anyone to know that you got married and divorced, and are still entangled with your ex-wife's twin sister, right? Even I feel that what I said was too harsh. Nathan shook his head, smiled bitterly but confidently said, "No, I know you have a sharp tongue but a soft heart. You can't bear to ruin me. I know you love me." It turns out that this confidence I gave him made him feel like he could hurt me without any consequences. Yes, that was when I still loved him, but now I only feel hate and disgust. I keep my word. Just wait and see if you don't believe me. But Emily made the first move. That night, Nathan officially announced his relationship on Weibo. He wrote, "Thank you all for your concern lately. I remember it all. And a special thanks to the one I love the most." The photo was taken from Nathan's perspective, with Emily asleep by the bedside. There is also a B-scan ultrasound image showing 2 embryo buds. However, this Weibo post was deleted just 10 minutes later. What I saw was a screenshot sent by a netizen. While I was watching the excitement, Nathan suddenly started banging on the door. "Sophia, I swear it wasn't me," he gasped, saying that Emily took my phone. "Sophia, I only love you." This lousy title, whoever wants it can have it. I'll count to 3, and you immediately get out. Otherwise, I'll immediately make the recording public. If you don't want the child, we can let Emily have an abortion. I did record it, but not with my phone. It wouldn't matter if it was broken. Nathan was stunned. 1, 2, I'll do it myself. He threw caution to the wind and loudly declared, "I'll confess. I'll admit my mistakes. I'll make a public self-criticism." "Can you forgive me?" "No, you don't need to forgive me. I just ask for one more chance to make it right, okay?" I raised my eyebrows and asked him, "How do you plan to confess? How will you self-criticize? You understand these topic-shifting PR tactics better than I do." He isn't alone. He has a company team and endorsements behind him, with too many interests involved. "I won't. I promise I won't, as long as you agree to my terms." I shook my head and said, "Do whatever you want, just don't involve me." After saying that, I closed the door. Then I took out my phone, made some minor edits to the recording, and sent it out. My account only has a few dozen followers, and they are all inactive fans. I didn't expect any response. I just wanted to warn Nathan that I wasn't joking. To my surprise, 2 minutes later, Ethan actually retweeted that Weibo post. I was completely stunned. How did he find my account? And so quickly! In less than 5 minutes, Nathan topped the trending search list, followed by a deep red explosive character. The second place was Nathan Ethan. It was really frustrating. His name was actually listed with mine, and he was behind me. I immediately called someone to take care of it. I was so angry I gritted my teeth. "Why are you meddling? This is upholding justice. It's really something to be proud of." The Weibo platform was down for over an hour. My mom and Emily have been calling and texting me, blaming me, and in the end, they got so emotional that they confused themselves with what they were saying. I asked them, "Do you really want me to make this public as well?" Nathan has started his live stream. Ethan is sending him gifts, pushing him to the top of the donation leaderboard. I asked him if he was being a bit childish, like he had so much money he didn't know what to do with it. He said that indeed, this amount of money was nothing, just like a ticket to watch the show. He also said to let Sophia keep an eye on him, and he promised to behave. Nathan added, "And I'm especially loyal. I'm Nathan." Regarding what happened today, I want to first apologize to my supporters and fans. I'm sorry everyone, I've let down your affection. I was with her for 10 years, and we loved each other very much. She is a truly wonderful person, who has always silently supported me and stood by me through the toughest times. But I have let her down. I was with someone else and even had a child. I'm a terrible person, not good enough for her, thinking that she would stay just because she loved me. I was wrong. I'm really sorry. He stood up and deeply bowed. He pleaded with everyone not to disturb her, not wanting her to be hurt because of him again. Immediately after, Ethan sent a paid message that appeared at the top of the live stream. Why didn't Nathan clarify earlier that the person he cheated with was her twin sister? Don't get it wrong. Don't treat innocent people as the mistress. The screen was instantly filled with gasps. "Ethan, please elaborate." I was stunned. I had never told him any of this. He not only knew I had a twin sister, but he also knew that the third party was her. Nathan simply apologized and said he would temporarily step back, then ended the live stream. As soon as I opened Ethan's WeChat, his call came in. I admit my mistake. I looked up Nathan and understood your family's situation. I have nothing more to say. He cautiously asked, "Are you angry? How about I apologize to you in person?" He's downstairs. I stood on the balcony, looking at him, saying, "I'm not angry, you were thinking of me." Emily sent out that photo, and the face was captured very clearly. The things are hers, and they are also mine. Do you want to go out for a walk? He raised his head, avoiding this dispute. He took me on a private jet to a tropical island. I was surprised. I didn't expect him to be so wealthy. Later I learned that the plane belonged to my grandfather, and the island was my cousin's. I could only use it within certain limits. I smiled and said, "All right, wealthy heir." Then I turned off my phone and lived a leisurely life without conflict. 3 days later at dusk, I rode my bike home alone. Ethan was waiting for me at the door, looking unwell. He told me that my mom was sick. She had a cerebral hemorrhage. When I arrived at the hospital, Emily was crying very sadly. "It's all because of you." As soon as she saw me, she pushed Nathan away and ran towards me. "It's your fault that mom is in this situation. Why don't you just disappear?" Ethan grabbed her arm, and Nathan came over to pull her away. I stood there in a daze, with a buzzing in my ears, unable to hear anything clearly. Emily wouldn't let me see mom, nor would she allow me to attend the funeral. Nathan said he had a way to help me, but I shook my head and said, "Thanks, but no need." I'm shocked and saddened, but all of this has been diluted by the hatred in my heart. She probably doesn't want to see me either. I can't remember clearly, but everyone says my sister is more likable than I am. I'm timid and avoid trouble, and I don't like to speak up. My sister, on the other hand, is lively and adorable, very clever. That year, my sister went missing, and my mother completely broke down. She kept saying over and over, "Why was it my sister who went missing?" She even blamed me for just hiding and playing, not taking good care of my sister. I didn't dare to complain even a little, because she was the one suffering the most. Nathan told me the location of her grave and said she called my name before she left. I smiled faintly. "It's nothing to worry about. I don't care." Nathan's career was completely ruined. He paid a huge penalty for breach of contract and was on the verge of bankruptcy. A reporter caught him alone outside the hospital being pelted with eggs, looking dazed and emaciated, with a very poor complexion. Emily was heartbroken, stayed in bed for 2 weeks trying to keep the baby, but in the end, she still miscarried. She arranged to meet me at the cemetery. My mother's grave is marked by 2 children's tombstones, with a photo of me and Emily from our 100-day celebration on them. It's really hard to understand. Do you know why Nathan agreed to be with me so quickly that night? I didn't say anything, and she let out a cold laugh. "Because he thought that his first kiss with you was actually with me." I looked up at her in surprise, and she smiled happily. She said that during the summer of our sophomore year, my mom happened to be out of town, so I brought Nathan over to play. He felt a bit unwell and took a nap at noon. She quietly slipped into the guest room. He, half asleep, pulled her onto the bed, embraced her, and kissed her. That night, Nathan officially confessed to me and kissed me. I asked him if he still remembered that kiss, and he looked surprised. But when I was close to him, he said he always remembered that kiss. He said that when he kissed others later, he couldn't find that initial feeling and thought it was just because he wasn't in the right state at the time. After saying that, he kissed me again and said it was this feeling that made his heart race. He clearly likes me. You're the one who stole him away. It's so ridiculous. This thought is the only thing left in my mind. It was wrong from the very beginning. Then why did you wear the same clothes as me and sneak into his room while my boyfriend was asleep? You know very well what your intentions are. She smiled slightly and continued, "It's okay. A child can be had again. Now Nathan is all I have left. I will never abandon him." I was walking down the mountain road, and when I looked up after turning a corner, I found Emily lying on the ground. When Nathan arrived at the hospital, I stood up, ready to leave. Sophia called out to me, but I didn't stop or look back. It was then that the first snow of the year began to fall. The play announced a new male lead, replacing Nathan. Ethan said the crew had originally chosen this actor, but a week before filming, Nathan snatched the role away. Nathan told me that the original male lead had conflicts with the director and dropped out, and he stepped in last minute, turning down several commercial performances and advertisements, incurring a hefty penalty for breach of contract. He said, "The play is the most important thing." I laughed helplessly. I thought we had no reservations and completely trusted each other, but I didn't expect he had hidden so much from me. Before the spring festival, our movie started casting actors. "Which one do you like?" After watching the audition video, Ethan asked me. "I think only the second one is okay. The others were too fake." I nodded in agreement with his opinion. Just as he finished speaking, his phone suddenly rang. He frowned as he read the message and turned to tell me there was another incident. Nathan's extreme fan couldn't handle his image falling apart, turned love into hate, and went to his house to set it on fire, but ended up not escaping. The police called me to identify the body. I had the lawyer help take care of it. Although I really disliked the two of them, that day turned out to be the last time I saw them. It's a bit poignant. This world is both absurd and ridiculous. The following spring, Blank began filming. Ethan was in charge of directing and performing, which was quite exhausting. But I wasn't idle either. I was constantly revising the script and fine-tuning details, often staying up until after 1 in the morning. I asked him why he had such good stamina and seemed never to get tired. He laughed and said he would hibernate after filming. The movie wrapped on the day of the winter solstice. The next day, Ethan suddenly fell ill, with a fever of 39 degrees. He completely turned around. He used to sleep only 4 hours a day while working, and now he's only awake for 4 hours a day. "You're still here?" I reached out to touch his forehead, and he held my hand down, silently looking into my eyes. "Sophia, I feel uneasy inside." My heart suddenly tightened, as if he had squeezed it tightly. I quickly withdrew my hand, feeling a bit flustered. "I've fallen for someone else, but I haven't figured out what to do about it. But with feelings, one cannot control them." He smiled at me and said he wanted to eat ice cream. A year later, the movie was released. I sat in the audience watching, without going up on stage. I wasn't willing to appear in front of the camera. Ethan asked me what to do if he had to accept the award on my behalf, and I smiled and said to let him take it for me. He asked in what capacity he would accept it for me. I didn't answer that question. Thank you to the screenwriter Sophia for writing such a wonderful story. We all applauded for her. She must be able to hear it. He was looking at me. At the award ceremony, Ethan held up the Best Screenwriter trophy I received and said a few similar words. In the end, he said, "I thank myself on behalf of our screenwriters. She definitely has no objections." The whole audience laughed, and I laughed along. I hope we can work hard together in the future to create even better works. My screenwriter, don't forget the promise you made to me. A month later, I moved into his house. We are neighbors, living one floor above the other. "Welcome, hostess. By the way, there's this little guy too." He brought back the cat from the guest house. I was so happy that I couldn't close my mouth and couldn't help but hug him. "Thank you." He sighed and said, "Finally, you took the initiative to come closer." That night, he finally told the story of us from his perspective. I was feeling down that day, so I went out for a walk to clear my mind. In the alumni grove, I saw a girl squatting on the path. After watching for a while, I realized she was crying. I wanted to help, so I handed her a pack of tissues, though it was actually half a pack. Upon hearing this, I was completely stunned. I didn't walk far when I suddenly remembered where I had seen her. In the cafeteria, she had helped me swipe my meal card. Before long, it started to rain. I took off my jacket and draped it over the girl, urging her to hurry back to the dorm. Since I was helping, I might as well help to the end. Later, he looked at me, sighed helplessly, and seemed very dejected. In the end, I returned the clothes to Nathan. I returned to the dorm, and my roommate excitedly shouted, asking why I was wearing Nathan's clothes. She took out her phone and showed me the candid photo she took of Nathan in the library during the day, where he was wearing an identical jacket to mine. Nathan didn't deny it. He just casually said it was nothing important. It drove me crazy. He actually wore the same clothes as me. It's really speechless. Impersonating. He only heard from a friend about how I met Nathan 6 months later, and he got so angry that he chugged a bottle of alcohol. From that point on, he became arch rivals with Nathan. I felt very uncomfortable inside. It turns out I was wrong from the very beginning. At that time, my father had already passed away for more than 6 months. I walked over there, and my shoelaces were loose. While crouching down to tie my shoelaces, I suddenly thought of how my dad used to help me tie them, and a wave of sadness rushed over me that I couldn't suppress. Just like now, tears kept flowing down uncontrollably. Ethan hugged me and said, "It's okay, everything is still on time."